So this is that bean trailer walkthrough you've all been asking for, and yes, we've had this out for over 2 months. It's been way too long, but we're finally getting the chance to show you what we think of this trailer. So this is where a lot of you are going to go, for that kind of money that makes no sense, and that is this GALLEY, as you can see, has no sink. This GALLEY, as you can see or hear, has no water tanks. This GALLEY does have a stove, which is a must for us, and it does have a fridge, but other than that, it is pretty pared down. And there's a reason why they created it that way. You know I love all the bean trailers, but I still, if money was no object, would still pick this base model bean stock, and I'll explain to you why throughout this video. There's a handful of companies that almost refuse to put a sink in their trailer. Bean being one of them, Escapade that we did the walkthrough. Now both Bean and Escapade have added sinks to their builds, but after talking to both these companies and getting to know them, I think it's more about meeting the demand of the end user more than what they think actually belongs in this trailer. Now, don't get me wrong, I think a sink is great for a lot of people, but I think for a majority of us, we would be much better off with the option they've provided here. So as a traditional teardrop owner, the first thing that really caught my eye on this was that it has this pass-through galley. So for those of you who've seen our teardrop, just like any other teardrop, you can get into the cabinets here, but you can't get into them from inside. And so what that meant for our family is that we had 2 of everything. I had a toothbrush inside and a toothbrush outside. Now I only use 1 toothbrush and I can grab it from either side. I can pass food through to May. I can pass a sleeping bag through it. It's just helped us stay more organized, haul less gear, and then it just simplifies the process. They have what they call the TROFAST drawer system. These you can purchase from IKEA. You can kind of mix and match. This pulls out into the galley, but it also pushes into your trailer. So when you're inside the trailer, you're not fumbling through items. They're not falling all over. Everything is nice and organized in its bin. Because most of the trailers from Bean are overland trailers, you're getting overland components in this basic Bean stock model. So this is the Cook Partner stove. Fits 2 fairly large pans pretty well. It is a really beefy setup. This stove pulls out, allowing you to still get all this prep space. If this stove was built into this, I would lose all the space where that stove was placed. So this trailer with the base build comes with a cooler, but if it was me, I'd upgrade to a fridge. This is the collapsible dishwashing station. So this can collapse down. So when you put it in there and shut this, you have a ton of room for storage. We just leave it completely down like this, and we're using it as a drawer. If there were some upgrades on this trailer in the future that we would love, we hope that they would start integrating drawers. We noticed in their Black Bean build, they added drawers to this. As you know, we're a huge fan of the drawers. And it's just the little things, like the built-in Bean logo into the fiberglass mold, these curved, rounded designs. I mean, everything about the Bean, you have to see it in person to understand the beauty of this.
I love to help.
You love to help? So this one's gonna sound a little ridiculous in that you pay top dollar for a trailer like this and you only get 2 5-gallon little blue water containers. And honestly, this is what we would prefer, and I think many of you will as well. If you have a 20-gallon water tank, which many manufacturers put in their trailer, one thing you're going to have to winterize it. It's going to require maintenance, and it's going to make it difficult for you to use in the winter. I've been surprised to find that having 20 gallons of weight, even over the axles, it gives me this almost, I've heard this in the comment section, like a nauseating feeling as I'm towing it down the highway. And each section of pavement that divides, there's this little bump, and I can't even explain it. There's like a little sloshing, a little up and down motion that I don't get on trailers that have less water in them. And in terms of water usage, our family would get about a week out of these. We do use lower water than most families, so I'd say maybe 4 to 5 days before you have to fill these 2 jugs up. And then I'll bring you around to the other side of the trailer, but probably in the morning as it's starting to get a bit dark out here. I'm gonna push through here. You're gonna hear the kids, they're trying to get to sleep in there. We have our 10-pound propane. For most families, this is gonna get you all the way through a whole summer of cooking, even intermittently using your gas fire pits. Like when we have fire bans like this, we'll pull out our little fire pit and use this to give us that nice toasty feeling. In here we have the geyser shower. You could also put an on-demand hot water heater in here. And then the feature I want to talk about more, probably tomorrow, is the clearance of this trailer.
Oh, hear that wind? It was really windy last night.
The wind was just ripping through here last night, so I just took this big old awning and folded it really fast on top of itself, put the Velcro up, and then just jumped back in the trailer. So that's what this ugly mess is. So I always forget what these are called. Rock sliders, rock skids, rock guards. This is an add-on that I'm starting to realize is even needed for a trailer like this. Because of that clearance I mentioned, we're taking this thing everywhere. And this is really for those narrow trails where you have the stumps and the rocks sticking out. And it just gives you a peace of mind that they're not going to make it to the body of the trailer and damage it.
1 pancake made. I'm feeling awesome.
And I need to mention the cons as well. As much as I love this paper towel holder, if you have normal paper towels, the wind can grab this and kind of pull it out. So what we do is we just put a rubber band around this, or like Bean suggests, you buy these nicer paper towels that are thick and then it won't pull out. There's a bee on there. You see that bee? There he goes. All right, pardon the red eyes. Part of it is, you know, early morning here. I'm still just waking up, as you can kind of hear in my voice, but it's from the dirt last night, just chasing this awning with the wind blowing through the valley. But speaking of that, I mean, we're up in places I never thought I would go with a teardrop. As you can see in the reflection here, this place is gorgeous. And part of that is this 15-inch clearance. I mean, with 15 inches, it's not going to bottom out on anything. My tow vehicle will always be the limiting factor. The Subaru Outback, under 10 inches clearance. Our Jeep, under 10 inches of clearance. To be honest, I can't think of any vehicle like this that comes stock that's 15 inches or higher. So I would never need any higher for clearance, especially as a frugal guy. I'm not going to be building some lifted kit anytime soon. Other than that, I'm going to talk about the build in a bit. I think this Beanstalk model is pretty over-engineered and pretty overbuilt, in a good way, in a bad way too, because it adds some weight. But it really makes it, to me, off-road worthy. I don't know why I would need something any beefier than this. So this is something here we've been prototyping with Bean. When we reached out to Bean, this is what we asked for in the trailer. We asked Mark, could we get an oversized tongue box for this Beanstalk? As you can see, this is rhino lined or armadilloed. Super beefy, but it's not that heavy because it's aluminum. It didn't add a lot of weight to the tongue. And what it can hold is just incredible. Everything that was in the tongue box, I put inside this tent just to give you an idea of how much it holds. Now, if you find a way to fill this up, you still can come over here. They've added 3 different track systems of gear tie downs. So you can add a bunch of extra gear here and look like the Clampett's heading down the road. One of the features teardrop owners will whine a little bit about is the size of the door. So on this, what they did is they put in an oversized door. So as you can tell, I'm not sure if it's wider, maybe a little bit wider, but definitely a lot taller. So this is my mom's newest addition to the family. She's gonna try the whole pony cart, ride the grandkids around thing. Careful, you don't wanna hurt yourself on that tongue. It says no step here, but I've watched how Bean just makes a trailer. Everything's pretty over-engineered, so I can easily stand on this. It can support all my weight. In other videos, I showed you guys I can jump up on it. For someone my size, I can easily get up here. It helps me get up to the rooftop awnings and tents and all the things that are out of my reach. And speaking of those things out of my reach, you have the ability, even on the beanstalk, because it has that strong composite inside the fiberglass, to bolt in a lot of add-on items. So I have on here a 23-0 awning that spreads out all the way 180 degrees here in front of the camper. And then a rooftop tent is mounted up here. So I know you guys want to see that interior. It really is the selling point of this trailer. Like, May never wanted to leave it. She called this her little home. So I'm just going to go get that mattress, get the cover on it, get some lights on in here, and give you a tour.
Welcome to the inside of the bean trailer. The lights here, they actually are dimmable. You can push, and there we go. This is the lowest setting. Let's go over to the galley, the pass-through galley. So the galley is my favorite part about this trailer. If you open it up, on the other side is just the galley where we cook. But I just love that I can get everything from in here, because one of our big problems was I would always forget something on the other side. So once I was all ready to be tucked in with the boys, I would have to scream, "Drew, come grab me," blah, blah, blah. And he would have to bring it to me. And so when he told me that this trailer had this, I was like, yes, this is my jam, because I always forget something like diaper wipes, or if I didn't finish washing my face, I can reach in here and grab my face lotion and finish my night routine in here with the boys while they're reading a book. So to me, this is like A+. It worked out really great for our family living in here this summer. I had my own drawer, which was really like luxury, because we didn't have this before. So I had a whole drawer to myself, and then the boys had the drawer next to mine. Drew, his drawer space was up here because he's the taller guy, so he took up this whole space. And this is pretty deep. It goes it's like pretty much the length of my whole arm. It doesn't seem that big of a deal, but for somebody who lives in a small camper trailer like we do, this is like me hugging it like this. And then the other cool thing is this side was more storage space. It goes pretty deep as well, so we kept a lot of the stuff that we needed, like rain jackets or Kleenex, hats, things like that, up here. And it just worked really well because you didn't have to dig through your drawer. You can just hop in here and grab and go. And then the cot Drew will put in a bit to show you guys what that looks like, but East really loved the cot. Right here is a really soft, I forget what it's called. What is it called?
I think like a headliner, a soft headliner.
Soft headliner. And I love just kind of leaning back on it. It feels really good when I have my pillows here, but Drew really loves it because he gets to use this whole space as a projector for our movie nights. Which
the projector screen, right?
Yeah,
like the whole movie fits perfectly widescreen on this thing.
It's pretty awesome.
Look at the new screen. This is like a legit movie theater.
My favorite, I have so many favorite things I can talk about, but one of my favorite things is that this little hook set that comes in here, that comes with the bean. We use it for everything. We use it to hang our keys. The boys' water bottles have a little hanger, so we hang their water bottles here. We hang our hats here. We hang our headlamps here. And this summer we were in a different camper, and I like just muscle memory went to hang something, and I'm like, there's nothing to hang anything. There's like, where do I store my things that I need for at night? And then the other cool part is the USB hooks. We use that a lot. Our phones are usually hooked in, charging in the nighttime, or Drew's battery chargers for his camera. You can go up here and just manually turn on the fan, but we really love the remote. We just use it. It's really cool because you can control if the air goes in, or if it goes out. You can go 10%, which is where we normally have it at. Maybe 20% once this summer. It's just enough to feel like air moving, but not.
Yeah, you don't hear it. There's no turbulence. It just feels like you're being wrapped in this nice cloud of air.
Yeah, it's really quiet. It's so quiet that we usually forget to turn it off, and we'll come back at night and go, oops, didn't turn off the fan again. Let me just turn off the fan before I forget. Changing is really cool because I can kind of stand up in it. And the
she's only, how tall are you?
I'm not tall enough to be a model, that's for sure.
Show me on here.
Okay.
So I, at 5'11", can you see me?
Yeah.
At 5'11", I can do a very comfortable clothes change. I always thought I needed to stand all the way up like some sort of pop top, but this is by far enough. Putting on pants, putting on your shirt, everything is like really natural and comfortable. And that's that extra foot of headroom. Every teardrop we're in has one less foot than this has.
What do you think? You like your bunk? You usually read on it? There's a lot of space under there, huh?
And now for the best feature, and I saved it for last, and that's the fiberglass design. It's actually such a great feature that I made an entire video devoted to composite and fiberglass design and why I think it's the right fit for me and many of you out there. So check that out in the description below, and as usual, stay safe on the road, and we'll see you in the next episode.